Good morning, everybody. I am hoping my tripod holds. I bought a brand new fancy-wancy tripod off of Amazon, and it worked for about, 5 minutes, and then it crashed and burned. I don't want to beat up on Amazon because they are a billion-dollar company, but I'm having some concerns with their products lately. Seems everything I bought off of them was either used and they sent it to me trying to hope I didn't notice, or it doesn't work. So sad but true. I want to give a couple minutes for everybody to jump on the call before we get started. Hi, I'm Karen Barna, and welcome to Possibilities Cafe. Possibilities Cafe is where you believe in you, where you develop a belief in yourself. I put this podcast together. I really feel during this time of pandemic, there's so much fear and so much uncertainty, and I felt a need to just kind of let people know to believe in themselves and believe in their business. And I want to talk about, in this episode, the hero's journey. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know about the hero's journey, but this will probably every movie and every book from this point forward, because every good movie and every good book is built on this framework. Joseph Campbell came up with this. I should have looked up how long ago he did, but I did not. But if you look up Joseph Campbell, he'll take you through the hero's journey, or go on, any website and ask you. This is the one I always reference. A hero's journey is when an ordinary person who's minding their own business, and it could be, the Hobbit. Well, we'll use the Hobbit. Frodo was minding his own business, sitting at home, eating his little Hobbit food. And if you've ever read the Hobbit books, they're marvelous. They're just fantastic. Or it could just be some guy minding his own business, and he gets notified a tsunami's coming, or his daughter's been kidnapped, and you get called to action. And for me, about 4 years ago, I started this journey. I don't know if it'll end up being a hero's journey. I hope so. Because I was getting older. I was 58 at the time. I started to look towards retirement. What's my next step? What do I want to do next? And what do I want to choose to do next? Because like most women, the jobs we have are the jobs we got because we needed that particular job at that particular time to fill whatever we had going on in our lives. Now, yeah, I stumbled into the great opportunity. I was part of a group to start a not-for-profit. So thank you, universe. Thank you, God, for that. But I've never really chose what I wanted to do. So about 4 years ago, I got called. I was talking to somebody and she challenged me. She's like, you've always talked about writing a book. You've never written a book. And I don't know, I think you can see it back there if I point right. Blue Rose Bookstore. And actually, I'm going to be in another book. I think it'll be out in June. I was asked to write a chapter in somebody else's book. And so I'm so excited about that. And I am working on my third book. But so I kind of got called to action because I knew I had to do something next. Because if you've ever worked in a not-for-profit world, it's not like when you leave the corporate world and you leave with a nice little golden parachute. Not like that in the not-for-profit world. So I got called into action. But the call wasn't big. This pandemic is big. So a lot of you guys are getting called into action right now. Because businesses are shutting down. Cities are going to have to start laying people off. So people have to rethink their business model. A couple years ago, like I said, I get called to action. Then something supernatural happens. And to me, the supernatural thing was back in, I've told everybody that 2019 hasn't been my year. I started realizing that I wasn't being fulfilled. I wasn't being true to who I was. I wasn't being filled with joy. I had left God a long time ago. And I figured out when I did. I found, when I was in, I think elementary school, 2 twins got hit by a bus in my school. And I remember sitting at the church thinking, how can 2 twins get hit by a bus and get killed? And it's so weird how this stuff works together. And that's how your hero's journey works together. So I kind of got called to think, what do I really want to do? I like to heal people. So what's my perfect thing? So you'll get called to, something supernatural will happen with you. And I want to make sure I have all the right things. Then somebody will show up in your pathway to help you. It could be somebody that just sends you a DM and says, hey, how you doing? It could be a friend that you go out to dinner with and they're like, hey, you really should be doing this. somebody steps in, and a lot of times it's coaches, but other times it's not. It can be God. You could just be laying there and all of a sudden you get called. For me, it was laying there, about 4 or 5 weeks ago and being told, Karen, you have this gift. You see people's purpose. You see it with such clarity. But it's like, so you fight the gift because it's like, well, people don't want me to stick their nose in it, whatever. Let's use a nice practical example of, I can't think of anything right now, of a massage. I have a good friend of mine on the West Side who's a massage therapist. And, during the pandemic, you can't do massages, so there goes your income. But then something supernatural comes to you and you're like, well, I could do card readings, but I could do this type of card readings. And then, we hook up together and we talk and it's like, well, why don't you do this, this, and this? So somebody will show up in your path to help you. Then the challenges will come. And this is when you think, I am never going to get it together. And as I was going through 2019, I was feeling like this is never going to work for me. I am never going to figure out how to do this business. I'm never going to figure out what my calling is. I'm done. I quit. And that, and if you go to the movies, the tsunami's on the way and the guy gets trapped on a plane. And is he going to run the plane? And I really think this was a movie. Was he going to run the plane into the ocean? Or, with Frito, he had climbed the mountains. He had scaled everything he could. And he just, they didn't respect him. And he just wanted to quit. You always get to that point where you want to quit. And I personally call that your 3 feet from gold moment. When you're almost there, but it's just so hard. And for me, I was just so tired. I was so tired of, going here and going there and chasing every shiny object and trying to figure out how to get this going and make a couple bucks here and make a couple bucks there. But it's just like, what? I was finally like, God, I don't know. I can't figure this out, but I'm done. I'm giving up. I realized that it's just been too hard. So I'm going to stop. And then, like I said, the pandemic shows up and that really, started playing into my mind. It's like, how can I help women build their business? Who am I to help them build their business when I can't build my own business? So that is the part of the hero's journey where you're in the abyss. It could also be, I also call it you're lying on the bathroom floor sobbing moment. How many of us have not had that moment? It's just that moment where you want to just give up. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't work out. And I see that right now with so many people because they're in their abyss. It's like, is the economy ever going to get going? Are we ever going to get back to where we were? And you can't look at it like that. You cannot think of it. You have to be crystal clear on what you offer. Then you have to have proof that what you do is good. What you do helps people. Then you have to have your uniqueness. What makes you unique? What makes you you? What makes me me? I don't come at things negatively. I come at things with hope because I see everybody's positives. I see people as they could be if they believed in themselves like I believe in them. But when you get to the abyss, it just doesn't matter because I can't convey that message. And whatever you're trying to do in your hero's journey, and it could be, you could be a high school senior and you're on your hero's journey and you get to graduation. This is your abyss because you dreamt your whole life of this graduation. I have a friend getting ready to get married and she dreamt her whole life of her beautiful wedding. And now she's like, what do I do? Do I have a small wedding, like 4 of us, and we Zoom it? Because that's not my fairy tale. That's the abyss. But out of the abyss comes the transformation. Out of the abyss comes the new business model or the new you, where you wake up and you find your magic. You find who you're meant to be. And you don't find that until you hit the abyss. I don't care who you are or what it is, until you hit that abyss, that laying on the floor sobbing, that, oh my God, the world is freaking coming to an end moment, you won't get that transformation. Because that big transformation, that big, I got it, I know that I can help women move their business forward. I know I can help them get crystal clear. And I know I can help them remove the blocks that are standing in their way, remove this so they could have what they want. But it took me to get into the abyss to realize this is never going to freaking work out. And to have that moment where I'm done. I am just done. I have jumped, I've done this, I've done that. And if you jump over to Possibilities Cafe, I'm going to start talking about how to build a business. I'm going to talk about things that I wish somebody would have told me 4 years ago. How to validate your business. How to know that people even are searching for your business. You know, I have all this heal your shadows, heal your past, heal all this. I went and finally learned how to validate my idea. And let me tell you, people aren't searching for that. People aren't searching how to heal your trauma. Because people don't want to know that. They need to know that, but they don't. So if nobody's searching for your product, what the hell? Conversely, if 10 million people are searching for your product, you're in this big ocean. You have to find your little piece of blue ocean. What makes your card readings better? What makes your quilts better? What makes your peanut butter that you make at home with little llamas better? I don't know where I got llamas at, but you know, it's kind of like goat. What makes your goat yoga better? Other than, really, who wants a goat walking on them? I don't know. So then you hit you get to the atonement. It's kind of like the angels sing. It's kind of like you sit there and you're like, I got it. I see it. To me, it was and I don't play these type of games because I don't see puzzles. I'm one of those weird people. Even a 10-piece Barney puzzle I can't put together because my mind doesn't see shapes and sizes. But to me, it was a Jenga. We can't do that either. And this big Jenga, and I was sitting there. It was just a couple nights ago. And all of a sudden, I saw the last piece come in. And it was like, wow, that's how the universe works. That's how God works. It comes in pieces. And you have to hit your lowest low. And if you look back at your life and you think of every time you've hit your lowest low, out of that came beauty. Out of that came amazing stuff. I mean, when I started Arizona Alpha 3 years in, we found out that we had some, all right, Delva, I'm so glad. Delva said she hit the abyss this week and found what blocked her. And that's what you have to, and abysses come in shapes and sizes, believe it or not. Abysses can be, you know, big abysses where you sit on the couch and cry for a couple of days, or where 2019 just sucked for you. Abysses come in different sizes, and abysses affect people differently. And, you know, it's just, you just have to move out of the abyss, and then it's kind of like the angels sing. It's you know you found your magic. Because all of a sudden you're back in the flow. All of a sudden things are working again for you. You're happy. You feel free. Customers start finding you. I mean, I would have 2 or 3 customers and then nothing for like a month, 2 months, then 2 or 3, and I would be like, who am I to start a business? Because all my friends have these booming businesses and I can't. It was because I wasn't where I was meant to be. I wasn't, you know, I wanted to get right to people's trauma. Hi, I'm Karen Barno. Let me tell you what's wrong with you. Which is so funny because I'm about hope. I'm about the beauty of people. But I know how important it is to heal that trauma. But that's a conversation for another day. So once you get atonement, once you get right with yourself, once you hear the angels sing, once you wake up and you're like, I got it. I know how to teach women how to build their business. I got it. I know how to coach them. I can see it now. I see the steps. And again, over Possibilities Cafe, we're going to start talking about business. And this Possibilities Cafe weekly, every Wednesday, is going to shift over to Possibilities Cafe, my free group. So jump on over there. Then you return, then you come back. And when you come back, people notice the change. You know, I've noticed lately, as we're still kind of on lockdown, but people that stop by my office, they'll be like, you just seem different. You seem so happy. And it's like, I am. Because I came out the other side. I had to do that deep retrospective. And you all have to do it. So to encapsulate the hero's journey, and look this up, because every movie's like this. Like I said, every book, everybody does this. You get called to action. You're just minding your own business, walking down the path, doing whatever, and you get called to action. Something happens and you get called. And a hero's journey could take a day. You know, your daughter calls, she's in a car accident, you go, everything's okay, you get the car fixed, everything's great, she's happy. Your husband calls, we're going to inherit, $100,000, You get the check, big family fight over the money, everybody squabbles, everybody fights. You say, I don't want the money because it's, I don't want all this fight. Everybody hugs, makes up, and you get the money. It's that kind of stuff. So, and then major stuff. So you get called to action, and then somebody steps in. There'll always be a guide. It could be a spiritual guide. It could be somebody that just out of the clear blue texts you and says, hey, you okay? Do you need help? D'Elva does it with me every once in a while. She'll text and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Is everything okay? It's those guides that show up. It could be a book. Somebody could hand you a book and say, hey, you should read this book. I think it'd be a good book for you. Somebody will show up in your pathway to help guide you. And then you start the journey. And the journey is whatever it is that you're looking at to heal. If you're starting your business, and at this point, a lot of businesses are wiped out, how are you going to redo your business? How are you going to refocus it so it can come out the other side? Businesses are changing. Colleges and universities are changing. Peter Drucker predicted this, I think, in 1985 in one of his books, that colleges will never be, in the stone. I love Zoom calls. I'm going to be honest. I go to more meetings now than I ever have because it's a Zoom. It's like, oh, okay, I can sit in my office, hit Zoom, listen to the meeting, do work, pay attention. It's a beautiful world. The world's changing. And the people that adapt, the people that see this change, they're the ones that are going to come out the other side. I mean, in the Great Depression, 4 or 5 businesses came out of the Great Depression, and they are now multi-million-dollar businesses. Oh, thank you, Pam. You did the work. I just reached out and said, hey, you doing okay, Pam? So thank you. It was my honor. But I want you guys to be those businesses that you're going to look back at this moment 5 years from now and say, you know what? In the midst of the pandemic, when everybody had fear and everybody was really worried about what's going to happen, I had belief. And because you have belief, you built your business. And when we get out of this, and I don't know, I wish I could tell you it'll be July. I don't know. I haven't called one thing right about this pandemic yet. But when it, maybe D'Elva knows. But whenever this ends, if you do the work now and you find that your magic in your business and you find your target audience, and you're clear on your products and services, and you're confident in how you deliver it, a year from now, you're going to be the winner. And everybody else is going to look at you and say, well, how'd you do it? And you're going to be like, because I kept going, because I believed. You believed in your possibilities. So, and then, to recap, I keep saying to recap, but I wanted to keep this down under 15, and I did not succeed. You get your call to action, then you cross your threshold. A guardian will show up and help you walk through the path. You're going to hit the abyss, which is your lowest of lows. I know I can see some of the people that are on this call. We've all had those abysses. Lordy, have we had those abysses. And then you transform. You change. And you transform, not that you need external confirmation, because you don't, but you'll know when somebody looks at you and says, what's different about you? You seem at peace. I hear that more now than ever. Karen, you just seem at peace. You seem happy. Because I have spent, another sidebar, I have spent years searching. And it hit me. And I probably should have used that as an example. So let me run through this one real quick. Minding my own business, and I lost my cross. I lost my credit card, which I lose all the time. And I lost something else. And I looked at my husband about a week ago and said, I am so damn tired of searching. I'm always searching for something. And I just sat there and thought, holy beep, I am always searching. I never think I match up. I never think I have enough knowledge. And it comes because I had a speech impediment as a child. I didn't do well in high school by my own matters, not because anybody, said, I just didn't do well. It wasn't my jam. And so I graduated in about 5%. So since then, I have really tried to overcompensate. And I'll talk about this in another podcast. So when you figure that out, it's like, I'm done searching. This is what I do. I'm planting my flag. I'm done. You'll feel that peace. So I hope this helped you guys. Like I said, I'm sorry I went longer than I meant to, but I really feel this is an important topic. Everybody's going through their hero's journey right now. And the people that come out the other side, that atone, that, go through the abyss and then atone for it and understand, and you'll just feel that transformation, you will be the successful people, because hope always prevails. In the darkest, oh, hi, Diane, how you doing? That's my sister-in-law. Hi, Diane. She's still back in Hermitage. I saw it snowed back there, Diane, like a week ago. Yeah, I still follow my hometown weather. I know, crazy, but I do. And I still call it Hickory. I lost my train of thought. But just know that if you have the hope and the belief in yourself, you will come out of this. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want some coaching, go to my website, KarenBarna.com. And I have a clarity coaching program that I think a lot of people right now just need clarity. They need to figure out what to lock in on their business. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. See you next Wednesday on Possibilities Cafe. Like oh, good for you. Like I said, Possibilities, this talk will flip over to my Facebook group, my free Facebook group starting on Wednesday. And I'm going to talk over there a lot more about starting business and also Course for Miracles. I don't know how many of you have read the Course for Miracles, but I think this is a good time to bring that up as well. So Possibilities Cafe is going to scratch more of my spiritual itch. And my page will kind of stay pagey. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. And here's to you igniting your possibilities. Bye-bye, you guys.